I feel in the face of all the problems in the world impotent, and why I somehow cannot manage to transform I. Now here we get to the real problem, because we're always telling each other that we should be different. Now, I'm not going to tell you that tonight. Why not? Because I know you can't. Nor can I. That may sound depressing, but I'll show you it isn't. It's very hard. But everybody, you see, who is at all sensitive and awake to their own problems and human problems is trying to change himself. We know we can't change the world unless we change ourselves. So when we are aware of the ego I, we are aware of this chronic tension inside ourselves. And that's not us. It's a futile tension. So when we get the illusion, the image of ourselves, married to a futile tension, you've got an illusion married to a futility. And then you wonder why I can't do anything.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's live stream. We've got some important tidbits to potentially touch up on. So, Bitcoin's trend is still defined, to say the very least. And goodness gracious, is there a lot of upside. You know, when you actually scroll out to these really macro time frames, there's pretty much no overhead as far as resistance goes, or volatility overhead for that fact. So, volatility overhead represents distributional periods that have expanded to a point where it no longer becomes logical for them to be in a continued state of expansion, right? However, what's happening on Bitcoin now is the opposite, right? Because there's such high states of potential energy in the longer time frames that any kind of upward expansion happening now is unlikely to run into any kind of overhead, right? The only reason this trend will end is because, or rather, if it manages to activate a bearish mean reversion condition. And to be honest, a bearish mean condition is currently over 20% away. Let's load up ACAT just to show you how far away this pivot is. Alright, let's zoom ourselves in here. What we want to be looking at is this, right? And I know the green's in the way because it's attempting to define the range, which typically it does pretty well as far as actual compressionary periods go. If you just have this ranging tool and you short the top and you long the bottom, you're going to do pretty well for yourself. But what's also important to note is that you actually want to take the swings on this. Anyway, point aside. This pivot right here, and I know it's vague, right? But it's the same pivot you can see at the bottom here. Right, this is our mean inversion pivot, and as long as we are outside of that mean inversion pivot, Bitcoin is an active, defined state of trend. Okay, currently that pivot is over 20% away. Bitcoin would need to drop 25% for me to even consider it bearish. All right, Bitcoin would need to lose a quarter of its value before it lost its trend. That's insane, at least as defined by the daily chart. It's going to be very difficult to break Bitcoin down, which leads me to believe that the following is happening. All right, let's load up the DLX chart. Ah, beautiful. Because we have identical 3D wave PM readings, and they really are identical, it's uncanny, mind you, where we have all of this potential energy here and all of this potential energy here, which managed to compress from the previous bull run, like so, right? In each of these instances, we had huge overexpansions, and when they entered states of compression, well, we had a period of lateral trading before trend continuation. So, there is no volatility overhead. There's nothing keeping price down. It can continue to do this as long as it wants. However, what I'm actually looking for is the following. Let's open up the data window here, okay? And if we actually manage to mouse over right where the bull run actually begins on this candle, you're going to notice something interesting. In the data window over here, just look at these numbers, right? Every single value is either green or blue. And if every value is green or blue, that means every value or every period is in a high state of potential energy. So consider this, if you will. If you have multiple periods, in fact, not just multiple periods, but a collection of 32 separate periods that are all in extremely high states of potential energy, and you have the beginning of an upward trend, what happens? It results in this, a 4,000% move. So if you haven't been making money this month, that's fine, right? Because you're going to get 2 months of sideways price action. It's probable. And then we're going to see trend continuation. And goodness gracious. We're tagging the 3.2 standard deviation on the daily chart. That typically, at the bare minimum, starts to lag price out, okay? When we're tagging that kind of an extreme value, it's either going to form a flag or revert to its mean. Now, I think forming a flag is more probable, right? Because lateral mean inversion maintains trend. As opposed to trending mean inversion, where mean would travel down to meet, or the price would travel down to meet the mean. So, we have identical 3D wave PM readings on this section and this section. So, I was initially just copying the fractal solely based on price action, but then I realized how bizarre it is, how it's actually the readings that are identical. The CCI readings are identical, and the wave PM readings are identical. Okay, but let's I'm gonna full screen CCI and wave PM here for you. Okay, so I'm gonna draw vertical lines here, right on the same candles, and here. So, this is the cool part. Okay. We have wave PM on the 150 period sloping down with the 50 below the 100, right? 50 below the 100, 100 sloping down. 100 sloping down, 50 below the 100. Okay? Then the 14 period, or excuse me, then the 100 periods and the 50 periods go below the 0.4 value, which means there's a very high state of potential energy on those sections. Which brings me to the next point. The 14 period crosses up above the 100 period in both these instances. And this happens 2 candle closes. This one is 2, this one is 3. It's a single candle off, excuse me. Above the break of the 50 moving average. My goodness. So, we break above the 50 moving average in each instance, and we have identical wave PM readings. It's uncanny. So what happens next? Initially, the 14 period breaks up above the 100 value on this CCI. Initially, the 14 period breaks up above the 100 value on the CCI, and the 50 period is short to follow. Okay? That's positively weighted trend, and if you have positively weighted trend with comprehensive net expansion to the upside, well, it's pretty consistently going to accurately represent an upward move. So, what are we going to look for here? Actually, I'm pretty sure we could use wave PM declining to actually figure out where trend is going to stall. Okay, watch. Do you see how when the 14 period goes up, that means it's in a state of expansion? Well, when it starts to go down, that means it's in a state of compression. So, if this 14 period goes below the 0.7 value, trend, short-term trend at least, is going to be over. And then, this is where interesting things happen. Right? When you have 3 or more values below 0.4, and we're getting very close to that happening, right? 50 is already down there, 100 is approaching, and 14 is approaching. That pretty much means you have a Bollinger Band squeeze on 3 separate periods. And if we look at the 3D wave PM, it means we have a Bollinger Band squeeze on 32 separate periods. Okay? Usually people just stick to the 20 period and say, oh, the 20 band's tight, it's going to go up. No, guys. What we're doing is we're measuring the distributional width of dozens of periods, and they all say there's high potential energy, and they're all weighted to the upside, and they're all in states of expansion. That is uncanny. All right, that's how you get a bull run. So, compression. Compression is liable. I think we're going to go trade sideways for a couple months, and then we're going to have a ridiculous bull run as soon as we break the local high as defined by that range. Okay? So really, there's no huge reason to, sell here. I wouldn't recommend shorting, but I would recommend looking for a place to buy in. And thankfully, we actually have a tool set that allows us to do that quite accurately. We're going to look at BTC USD, okay? And I need to snap these down to size, please. Okay, super. Nice. So, we're going to go to the 4-hour chart. We can use quad CCI to enter on the 4-hour chart. Okay, as long as we have all our longer periods weighted positively, and if the shorter period rolls down, but it comes back up above the negative 100 value, right, that signal right there, that roll up, is going to be our trend reentry. And when trend reentry hits, well, we enter trend. Simple as that. Until then, it's kind of a risky chart. Why? Well, because, as we pointed out on the daily, if you were to enter a long now, you could not, in good conscience, stop out of a long position in an uptrend as long as it's in an uptrend. So that means your downside would need to be 25%, right? Because you would need to wait for that mean reversion condition to hit. Otherwise, you're betting against an upward trend by selling out of a winning position, right? Goodness gracious. What a chart. Let's talk about the micro time frames. Let's talk about the 1 hour. You know, I was long here. We pointed out this candle. Right where we started to get a new upward trend. And I actually got wicked out for no profit right there. I'm pretty annoyed about it. But that's my own fault. I should have used the looser stop loss, and I shouldn't have been so leveraged. It's kind of funny. You know, it was the amount I did make, I had actually paid in fees from holding the position open. So, despite me closing the position in profit, the fees were so large that I didn't make any money off of it. That's entirely due to the funding rate of Bitcoin right now. Holding a winning position in Bitcoin is really expensive unless you're on a futures contract. And I really need to stress that. Winning positions are expensive right now. You know, I actually held a small short from here to here, and it paid out like 10% on the position. It was pretty funny. You know, because we have awkward volatility overhead, trying to define trend here is a little difficult because we keep on getting re-expansions. Defining a short-term mean reversion pivot is possible, but it's worth noting that it's technically already compressed, right? Because your mean reversion conditions no longer really apply when your longest overexpanded period goes below the 0.7 value. And it's like 3 candles away from happening. So even if you wanted to take this bearish position on the mean reversion, you could not reliably predict it would roll down to the mean. Because when you have a mean reversion condition, it's not technically a mean reversion condition. We're just calling it a mean reversion condition because mean reversions are typically a byproduct of the compressionary period. So when you have the compressing range as defined by our longest overexpanded period, what we're actually looking at is just a compressing distribution that will not re-enter a state of expansion. And we can actually visualize this really nicely by looking at just regular weight PM. You know, every time a period goes above 0.9, it will return below 0.7 before it goes back up above 0.9. Right, every single time. Right, just look at the blue band for a second. If it's here, it will go here before it can return up above 0.9. And this happens again, and again, and again, and again. You know, if I could just have a contract that would let me bet on the compressionary cycle, I would bet on that every time. But, you know, because compression is actually just lateral trading in a tight range, you know, the strategy is required to actually figure out how to make a profit off of predictable information. This is actually the one example in recent history where it failed, where we actually got re-expansion before the compression could finish. Okay. That's it. That's all I want to say about Bitcoin. Okay, it's been a pleasure. We'll talk to you all later. Let's check the YouTube comments. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's live stream. I didn't get much sleep last night. Or I guess I didn't get much sleep this morning. Because I was up all night. Oh, that's right. I think it's the other one. Okay, let's go over these points, yeah? Viewership is good today. Thank you for tuning in. I'm gonna get a glass of water. I'll be right back. Okay, I got a water bottle. We're good. Hey Nico, welcome back. It's a pleasure to have you. Congratulations on getting married. Very happy for you. Cover XRP, please. Okay. I just gotta say, XRP is a long-term hold for me. And it will reverse when Bitcoin starts to flatten out. So, you know, there's one problem. It's actually not much of a problem, it's just a static support line. And, you know, if you actually identify it as a range like this, I mean, you got a pretty good profit ratio. I'm not one for telling you to buy static supports. And this may have a spring where we go below briefly to accumulate coins a bit, and then, or rather, where smart money scoops up your stop orders before going back into an uptrend. So that's questionable, but we can do it. Alternatively, if you want to stop out now and then just re-enter on the bullish mean reversion, that's a possibility too. But hold on here. All right, longest overexpanded period is 25. It should be set to 200, so 225. We're gonna set this to 22, and we're gonna set this one to 22. Okay. Yeah, mean reversion condition never activated on the daily, which is not good. So, you know, if you need to, I'm holding long term because I'm bullish on XRP, especially with that MoneyGram fundamental analysis. It's good. It's a long term hold. However, if you want to use good risk management, I recommend doing so. For being honest, when Bitcoin stops going down, XRP will go up. It's very probable. And I'm hesitant to sell now what I perceive to be a market bottom. However, if that's not your jam, what you can do is identify this pivot here. And you can sell out now, but you can buy when you re-enter your longest overexpanded period. Okay? That's the safest option. Yes, you're going to miss out on a lot of profit, specifically about 25% profit. But when you're looking at 150% upside, well, that's not the most concerning thing now, is it? Okay. Chart. Cover gold, please. Okay. Ooh, bullish parabola. That's a common theme. This is a strong breakout. Ever since the beginning of the year, I've been bullish on gold. And it was actually some pretty good things over there in the Forex subreddit, where a newbie with a weak gold account was hyped because he was shorting gold right here. And he got like 80 replies on his message because he just would not deny the fact that he might be wrong. He was like, no, this is 100% going to happen. I know I'm right. You guys are fools for not listening to me. In 24 hours, he deleted his account because people would not stop ragging on him that he got a higher high. I'm pretty sure he got liquidated. Like 90% sure he got liquidated. Like, my God, guys. If you're going to be in a huge leveraged position, don't bet against trend. As far as this actually looks, though, this is a breakout. It's just a strong breakout. You can totally use quad CCI to try to get entry into this trend. Holy moly. Yeah, it's a good upside. Although, guys, I just want to say something. This move that took the entirety of 2019, Bitcoin gets 1 minute candle wicks of the same volatility. What are we doing trading Bitcoin, guys? Come on. The volatility is unreasonable. Also, XAU CNY. This is a good one as well, because you're betting that gold will perform well against a potentially weak currency. So, of course, don't enter now. You're tagging that 3.2, and you have been. As soon as this starts to compress, well, trend is going to see some serious hesitation. So retraces are possible. It's just, you know, hard to wait for. Link's bouncing. Let's take a look, my friends. Longest over expanded period is purportedly 90. Weekly chart is just a straight-on parabola. That's ridiculous. It's 1,000% gain. Holy hell, Biz was right. When was the last time Biz was right about something? Oh, Ethereum 2015. Huh. That's funny. We're just a bunch of no-linkers, guys. I'm sorry. Yeah, to my understanding, this is bouncing on the longest over expanded periods mean. I even drew the trend line for it, goddammit. And now we're getting that expansion to the upside. Yeah, I mean, it's trend, guys. Looks good. Oh, that's frustrating. I need to wait for 3 wave PM to load. So, there we go. You know, are you getting that longest over expanded period on the daily? You are. That's volatility overhead too. Yeah, we have repeated converse expansion. I'm sorry, that was incorrect. We're having continuous expansion despite unrealistic amount of mass. So all that means is we're applying an unrealistic amount of force, and when you have fundamental news this good, well, that makes sense, doesn't it? What's green today, eh? My God, why do we trade this market? Link's up 23%. That looks good. That's in a parabola. I don't know, man. It's 135. We got a pump and dump happening in 30 minutes. If I'm still streaming 25 minutes from now, we'll pretend to trade it. And actually, we're gonna do this as well. You know, we could actually probably figure this out on our own. Because they're probably going to do a tapered call for, like, premium members or whatever. I don't know, man. I'm concerned about pump and dump groups, but they're fun to watch. Although, people shouldn't be surprised when they lose money on them, but they always are. Okay, back to the YouTube comments. Let's see what you guys want me to do. Mo, isn't Link working with Google or something? I have no idea how cryptocurrency works, I'll be honest. I'm just really, really good at volatility theory, and that's it. I mean, I've bought things with Bitcoin, but that's like my experience, guys. You don't need to know a lot about cryptocurrency to make money in cryptocurrency. EOS, an ADA. You know, maybe we can find some short-term bullish mean aversions. Because I won't have a winning call this month. Oh, there's probably a quad CCI roll. Oh, we fucking did. Yeah, we have trend continuation. Wow. Actually, that's a hard fake out. There's comprehensive net expansion to the upside and it just completely failed. It took the potential energy with positive weighting and it just, nope. Negative weighting. Screw you. So, mean reversion pivot's far away, so it's not going to happen. It's actually really cool. Yeah, my band's currently set to 225. Longest over expanded period is 225. There was both a CCI roll to the downside and an exact wick to the pivot. Ugh! I'd kill for that entry. Okay, you know what? I want to find a short. Let's look up some goddamn altcoins. FM19. Let's do this. No, everything's at the swing low right now. It's super annoying. Okay, we're going to be able to find at least one bullish mean reversion, though. I promise you. This trend didn't happen fast enough to generate mass. Can I take a look at Zach? Okay. Oh, also, what you're listening to, I made this. It's a 5.5 hour long ambient song. It goes all over the place and we're getting into a darker section, so I'm just going to rewind it a bit. I'm gonna try to avoid the bagpipes, you know? Does not inspire confidence. There's a bullish mean aversion pivot, and I guess we can try to trade it for a scalp, but you know, if I just called everything on the USD pairing instead of the Bitcoin pairing, we'd probably be doing fine right now. Right, because FUSD is at 308, and we called it at 300, so. Yeah, we got a bullish mean aversion condition, but it's not active. Let's just do this. Actually, it's not going to load correctly. I just realized that this is still here. And it's going to be totally maxed out, so we're just going to not do it. Okay, we need to do it manually. This is currently set to the 100 period. Yeah, you're in the 100 period here on the 4-hour chart. Let's set an alarm because I might call it. You know, when you have this aggressive downward move, you can profit off the bounce. Okay, so 100 period. There we go. Although, I'm going to be honest, this isn't a constant state of expansion, so it's going to be hard to recognize. God damn it. I'll set the alert anyway, and then we'll just adapt the period as we go along. Or, better yet, we go to the 1-hour chart. Okay, we might be able to do it down here just using the adaptive one, so. Ah, music's too loud. Okay. There you go. Okay, that didn't work. You know what? That is generated off of a bullish reading, so we can't do it. That's too bad. FUSD, please. It's a bullish chart. Yeah, it's got to break out to a higher high. Although, we have a short opportunity. It actually looks pretty good. On the 55 period. What? Only the 55 period? That's pretty short. So let's go to the 1 hour and define it a little bit clearer. You know, it's not that it's crackling your speakers take the horns, it's that I took a sample of an egg shaker and slowed it down to 1/10 of its original speed, and then put a grain delay on it. So it sounds like it's crackling, but I did it on purpose. Oh, tell me what you guys think of this music, because I made it. Yeah, they say music is pleasant under the following conditions. Music you like is 75% your expectations, right? What you expect here, and then the 25% that makes you like music is innovation and new sounds you aren't familiar with. So what you're listening to is probably like 75% new sounds you haven't heard, and that can make it hard to listen to. $200 period. Okay, let's do this. Hey, okay, it's the default value. How nice. Check it out. Oh, is this bearish right now? It is. It's bearish. Wow, okay. No, that's bad. This is a bad chart. This is a bearish chart. God damn it, I gotta sell a bunch of Ethereum. Now I can use a stop loss. That makes more sense. Probably sell if it goes below 305. God damn it. Yeah, this is an active bearish condition, and the... Oh, okay. That's too bad. I guess I'll have to short it. No win, very lose, never Lambo. Much scam. I very sorry for your loss, my boy. It is okay. There is very much no Lambo. You are correct. Not yet. Give me 2 more years. Yeah, this is technically bearish, but I'm gonna wait to stop out until, you know, we get a little bit more confirmation. What in titration? Okay, what do we got here? I'm gonna do Ren and Neo, and that'll be done. Ooh. How volatile. Super volatile. If you want to try range trading it, you can, but this is a 15% range. Yeah, if you want to try buying the swing low, you can, but just wait for your relative CCI roll to actually confirm it. Oh, we got 10 minutes until our pump and dump, folks. Check our volume monitor. Yeah, I'm gonna say XRP is not the pump and dump coin. Probably not Litecoin either. Oh, I want to see what happens. I'm gonna have to stay live for another 10 minutes, guys. too bad. We're switching this to a Super Smash Bros. Melee stream. Oh my god, I really want an orange Julius. You know, the kind you get from Dairy Queen? Like, you know how, like, in strip malls? Not strip malls, like regular malls. There was always the orange Julius Dairy Queen stand. Oh my word. Or like one of those orange cream sherbet sodas. Although I don't really want the carbonation, the pulp is far superior. I'd watch you play Melee. I actually don't play Melee. I have Ultimate. Michael Castillo, message me on Discord. I'm a Ganon main. I'll crush you. One-on-one, baby, let's do it. Although, I created a spirit team that reduces all your movement speed but gives you super armor, and I just put it on Ganon, and you can't move, but you can't kill him either. It's great. Okay, sorry, nerding out. More than I usually am, but point aside. It's what I do when I babysit my charts. Yeah, if I'm in a large position, I can't leave my computer, and I don't want to, like, stare at a chart with anxiety the entire time, so it's a good choice. What are we looking at next, eh? XRP. Oh god, do we have an XRP short op? Never mind. Hold on. Oh no. What's the quad CC? Okay, quad CCS, fine, we're good. It's still a little bit bullish for now. If I get a quad CCI roll down, I will short, but for now, I'm staying in my long. Unleveraged, of course. Hey, we got 7 more minutes, my boys. That's good. Get some more comments in here. I want to see what you guys want me to look at. Before we trade our pump and dump. Cryptos is. What a great profile. Imagine longing 5 digits and getting scam-wicked every day, paying high funding pretending you're winning. Oh my god. All BitMEX Rex are longs. Every day there's a 5x more long Rex than short Rex. Why can you have 10k is a truly brainless act. That's pretty funny. Oh my god. Ooh. Lordy, lordy, I'm single at 40. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, his TA is not the best. But his volume monitor tool is god tier. Yeah, his TA is not very good. He's a whale, though. I mean, he knows what he's doing. It's all because of his damned volume monitor. You kids want to buy some Link? Okay, let's check out AUD USD. AUD USD. Audi. Alright, we gotta work our way down. We're gonna start at the weekly. Let's set up our institutional benchmarks. 50 and 50, my boy. Let's do it. Hide volume candles because they don't mean anything. Beautiful. Okay, expectations are aligned for decay. Yeah, that's bad. Australian economy is about to crash, my folks, because they have a massive housing bubble. Woohoo! Yeah, short that shit. Weekly's great. What about the daily? Daily's in an active downtrend. I guess you could just take a quad CCI entry and hope for the best. Let's set up a quad CCI entry, guys, on the daily chart. Like, if that hits, I'm gonna put some funds on my brokerage. Short V kangaroos. I want Dead's Ultimate Containment Quad CCI. We want plot. We want it to be crossing down the 100 value. Nice. Great. How nice. Alright, we got 2 minutes. 2 minutes to pump. Alright, we're ready on that 1 minute chart. I sound a bit tipsy. Yeah, it's the no sleep, man. And I have refused to caffeinate. No, I could just take more kava. You're right, it's probably a good idea. That jerk is suffering from gains withdrawal. Oh no! What? GRC. Jesus. Alright, we get our buy-in right here at 150. Alright, we're gonna place our sell order at 240. We're gonna get wrecked. Who's ready to get wrecked? I am. And just a reminder, you can't market sell this because the order book is not populated. That's very important to recognize. You need to wait for someone to buy your order. You cannot market sell. Okay? That's what happens when you market sell. Did you see that wick? Okay, the closest buy order on the order book was here. Okay, that's a 32% downside, okay? Imagine if you buy in here near the top and then somebody market sells and dumps it 30% below where you bought in, huh? How do you expect to make money on that? I'm doing this as a lesson for all of you, so you don't participate in pump and dumps. Please, don't do it. Best case scenario, you're gonna get out even. Okay, there it is, my folks. If you bought in here, our buy order didn't fill. You are now down 32%. That is unfortunate, to say the least. Let's go complain about it. General chat. Oh, I don't have permissions. Oh, it's just locked for the time being. And you know what they do now? They advertise, guys, we just had a 200% pump. Congratulations on everyone who made their gains today. Alright? That's not how it works. The guys who run the channel, they buy their shitcoin over here. They tell you to pump it. And their sell orders are up here. Okay? You cannot win this. Right? I came in as fast as I possibly could, and I didn't even, like, type in my buy orders. I just assumed. And then they just take a screenshot of, oh, this beautiful candle. And they call it a success as you buy their bags. Like, for the love of God, guys, do not participate in pump and dumps. You Google a pump and dump, and like the first result is going to say a type of scam. Okay? Yet people willingly participate in it when it's even known and labeled as a pump and dump group. Like, is beyond me. And let's just check out volume candles. Okay. So if this is worth 103 sats, look how low volume gets over here. There's initial volume spike, but then how are you gonna shed your bags? Who's gonna buy from you here? And then look at all these people who get rewards for inviting people so they can get the signal a fraction of a second sooner. Ugh. Let this be a lesson to all of you. Okay, thank you for watching this live stream. I hope it was educational, especially with these readily available scams. My God, is a 200% wick attractive? But there's no way you're going to be buying at the bottom and selling at the top. There was no prior volume. Oh, actually, it's kind of funny. Look at this guy's candle over here. This guy sold right here. Actually, that's a bullish wick you bought in there. Huh. Oh, I didn't mean to refresh it. God damn it. Actually, we can still get the data based on the live stream itself, so... Okay, wait, there it is. Yeah, GRC went up 1,000% in volume. 7 Bitcoin. That's humorous. Okay, guys. This has been fun. I'll talk to you all tomorrow at 1 p.m., same time. You folks have a beautiful day. I'll see you then.